Right now, I'm just going to focus on my in-ring work and my promos and my character development and getting back out there and having a match. Because it's been a while. It's happening.
It is happening.
It is finally happening.
It's happening. Thank you for inviting me into your home.
No problem. Anytime.
You are in the heart of Hollywood, by the way.
I am. I am centrally located where I can get to any audition at any time within a matter of 2 or 3 minutes. So it works out very well. Yeah. I got
can't
some
beat that.
Good friends around here, and it all works. You and I have known each other for a while, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. WrestleMania
28?
28. Yeah.
Yeah. If you go way back in my interviews, you'll see. Short interview.
Absolutely.
But it's great to reconnect with you.
Right.
Although I feel like I know you because I worked with your father.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. I know I have a lot to live up to, I feel like. But I feel like I'm doing it. I'm doing the best I can. He's a good man. He's a good dad. Always was a good dad.
He is a radio broadcasting legend.
Yeah.
Kevin Kiley Sr.
Absolutely.
You're, of course, Kevin Kiley Jr. But I worked with him at 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland. Right. He was one of the main hosts there. I worked across the hall at an adult contemporary radio station.
Right. Yeah, he's right. I don't want to talk too much about him, but he's in his office right now writing his own book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm proud of him. He's had a good life, and he's certainly proud of it, so good for him.
And I'm sure he's proud of you.
Yeah, no, he is. I put in an honest effort, and I worked as hard as I can every day. So, in the entertainment business, the chips fall where they may, and that's something that he taught me from a young age. And
well, yeah.
So.
Well, you mentioned that you can go to an audition in 2 or 3 minutes. Right. That's because you're out here in Hollywood. Yeah. You've been in some movies. You've been in some TV shows.
Well, at first thing I got in Glow, and I know that was about 3 years ago, but that was such a thrill for me. Yeah. To transition right into an experience like that, being a wrestler and an actor, and I knew it very well. It was the perfect transition, and then right from that. Got some opportunities to be in Bennett's War.
That's a feature film.
Amazing.
It was in theaters not that long ago.
Yeah, and another opportunity to work with some great people. Michael Rourke, Trace Adkins was fantastic, and it's a slow build. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So,
there's a whole bunch of people that come out here to Hollywood and think they're going to just get discovered walking on Hollywood Boulevard.
Right.
You're actually you're in the trenches. You're going to auditions. You're auditioning here. I'm sure you're self-taping some stuff.
Yeah, all the time, and keep a very close relationship with my manager. He's been great, and life is good. I also have a real estate business on the side that I run.
Look at you.
Yeah, no, I try to stay as busy as possible.
But it's been 3.5 years since we saw you in a wrestling ring or in WWE last.
It's been about 3.5 years, and I'm excited to say I'm going to get back in here pretty soon.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have March 28th scheduled right now in Iowa.
Okay. That's your return match.
Yeah, that's my return match. Check my Instagram for the address, and I'm really excited. I didn't think it was going to take this long, to get back in. I never planned it to take this long, but life kind of happens, and I'm just excited to be back to something that I spent, 10, 12 years doing, and it's kind of found its way into my system.
But you've been busy. You've been busy being in movies. You've been busy auditioning.
No, absolutely. I've kept myself busy, and it's been good. But I still have that itch, that burning desire. I tell you, something about wrestling. Once you're in it, you can't let it go. It's very, very hard to let it go. There's no performance sport like it on the planet, and I want to give it one more shot. Just see what happens.
What is it about wrestling? Everyone that does the retirement, not that you retired, but everyone that does the retirement, it's the wrestling retirement.
Yeah.
It's basically like, I'm never going to wrestle again until 2 years from now.
I never technically got my retirement.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
So I'm free to give it another shot.
But what I'm saying is, even if you did retire, wrestling retirements aren't really retirement.
Yeah, no, I agree. Everybody comes back and forth all the time, and so it's a great job in that way. That the door is always open. Hopefully. So we'll see what happens. I'm staying humble through the process. Hollywood has taught me that very well. I've had some success. Obviously, anybody in the entertainment business wants more, but we're still at it. So
you were also telling me off camera that you've had some big roles that you were up for, that just at the last second, they went with someone else.
Yeah, I was, and you told me that everybody has those stories.
Yes, it's true. Everybody does have those stories.
I know. No, but I was up for Creed 2. I had a great audition for that. Drago's son. I bleached my hair blonde, and I think it got down to like I was top 3 or something that made it down there, and then they picked a guy that was an actual boxer.
A world-class boxer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'll lose to him. That's fine.
Yeah, I think if you're going to lose to anybody, maybe you could at least lose to a guy you're going to probably lose a fight to.
Right, yeah. Well, yeah, I think
I've interviewed him. Yeah, he's a giant man.
They always have that discussion, who's the better, who's more dangerous, the wrestler or the boxer? And I think, you get the guy on the ground, and it's a huge advantage.
So it's not just this date in Iowa and some other indie dates. You've also got the autograph signing at the big event.
I do, yeah. I'm very, very excited about that. And I'm just kind of like, I'm taking everything I can. I want to get back out there. I want to reconnect. I want to, it's like a repaying your dues process, which I'm fine with. I was away for a good amount of time, and I'm excited for the challenge of just kind of wiping the slate clean and getting after it again.
Well, I mean, for someone like you've had such great success in everything else. From playing football growing up, you played in the CFL, which I'm Canadian. So
I was in the CFL for a little bit. I was in a training camp, and didn't quite make it, but I was around. I was around the guys. I was around professional athletes, and I've been around professional athletes my entire life. So
who else was in the CFL and didn't quite make it? A guy named Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's another guy that's been in movies like Dwayne Johnson. But that's I think that's going a little too far. But yeah, no, I'll take the comparison. Thank you.
No, it's true. But so you went from football right into wrestling. I mean,
I did. Yeah, I did. I was trying out in football. Didn't quite make it, and that was my next step. I always had it as a backup plan, was to hop right into professional wrestling and give it a shot as soon as possible. And I was fortunate that my family knew Greg Gagne, and he was able to connect me with John Laurinaitis, who has been great to me my whole career and gave me an opportunity in my first start. So yeah, it was good.
Those are some pretty good people to know.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So you're a lifelong wrestling fan.
I am, absolutely. I started in high school with the Attitude Era. I remember before football practice, after football practice, I went over to my buddy. He was another quarterback, and we would just watch it on tape. We would watch a Monday Night Raw. Just absolutely amazing. I did D-Generation X, X-Pac. I'm a huge X-Pac fan. I got to do his podcast, a while back. It's always been a part of me. I've always loved it, and I feel very fortunate to have the opportunity to have done it in my life.
But you haven't been in a ring since, I guess, because the latter part of your...
I've dabbled. I've gotten into a couple rings around here, but no.
How's it feel?
It feels good. I was telling...
Probably hurts right now.
I was telling you something, or telling you this off camera, that it hurts more when you're not on the road. I found that if you're not on the road every weekend, your body starts to kind of ache and break down more. So I'm excited to get back in there and move around and get thrown around. And I always thought this about football. There's nothing better than the only thing better than hitting somebody is getting hit. Without knowing. And in the wrestling business, you take a beating. So for me, it's fun. I always love the contact. And, we'll get back out there and mix it up.
The latter part of your WWE career, you were in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
And I felt like you had so much potential. You had the look. You had incredible entrance music.
Thank you, yeah. No, that was...
great music.
Thank you very
great
much.
Look. And
that helped a lot. It certainly did. It was a good way to come out through the curtain.
And, you were talented in the ring. Why would they want to transition you out of the ring? How did that conversation begin?
So I think what happened was they were just starting the WWE Network. And they needed a lot of they needed spaces to fill on the broadcast side. They were coming up with something called the WWE pre-show, and they always, they liked the way I spoke, so they gave me a shot at it. And I feel very fortunate to have had that shot. It was something where was I not a little heartbroken when I came out of the ring? Yeah, of course. I've always been an athlete, and I've always wanted to continue in athletics, but. told this to X-Pac. It's hard for me to argue or complain about a life that I've had and the opportunities that I've had to be able to work on the WWE Network when it's a groundbreaking platform, and to be one of the first faces on it was great. So.
Yeah, but when they told you we want you to be part of this panel, did they say we're taking the wrestling away from you completely, or was it a transition out of it?
Yeah, no, they did. It was done. Yeah,
okay.
they made the decision that when I was part of the panel that the wrestling was done, and that was that. It was one of those things where, but also I wanted to give it everything I had, with the commentary, and that included getting very close to Michael Cole, learning as much as I could, going down to the Performance Center in Orlando, watching tape, hours and hours of tape, and it's an art, it's a craft.
Oh yeah,
100%. It's not an easy job, and you have to think very fast. You have to keep your words very, very tight, very concise in the sound bites, and it takes a while to learn. So I dove into it.
I don't think that people give Michael Cole the credit that he deserves.
He's amazing. Yeah.
He's so smooth.
He's so fast. He's so clean, and he can text you while you're home in Tampa while he's calling Raw, which is amazing. Yeah.
Are you serious?
He's talking wrestling. You see what I did and what I said right now. And I'm like, oh my God.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm like, this guy is a genius.
So it was, I guess, part of your homework to sit at home and watch the show.
Yeah, if I wasn't at the show, I was, or when I would travel and do the pre-show in Connecticut, when they moved me over there, and I wasn't home in Tampa, and Cole and I would text, and he would say, "This is what I'm saying right now," and I'd say, "Can you?" Yeah, and this is why, and I'm like, "Oh my God!"
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing thing. People in the WWE, I mean, they are as quick-minded as it gets. They have just a great ability to improv and go on the fly and make it fantastically entertaining. And that's something that, to be honest, when I first got there, I had to work on. I was like, this can't be the way it is. You can't go out there and just call a match on the fly. I remember Dr. Tom telling me that he was
in the ring, you mean?
Yeah. I said, no, we have to plan this or something. There has to be a day or two that we plan this, or at least 10 minutes.
A day or two.
Yeah, or at least an hour or something. And Dr. Tom said, when I'm done with you, you'll be able to just there's Joe Hennig, go. And by God, if that's not how it's done.
What do you think it is that you miss most about wrestling?
Everything. Just the whole thing, the sport, the performance, the lights, the pyro, the not sleeping, the work on the road, the unbelievable dedication that it takes to be a WWE superstar. So yeah.
You were great on the mic.
Thank
Do
you.
you think that your mic work helped you become a better broadcaster?
Yeah, I do.
Because they are very different. And the reason I ask is because
Right.
they are very different.
Yeah, no, I do. I think it was something that I kind of always grew up watching my father doing it, and it's something kind of that was innate in me. And then when I got comfortable with it, if you're comfortable in a 20 by 20 with a mic, then you're going to be comfortable behind a desk. I mean, well, I found it to be a pretty easy transition. I found it when you get out there in knee pads and boots and your underwear and you're talking, it's not. I mean, it's nerve-wracking. It's people that can do that are extremely talented, extremely tough, and there's a process of getting used to it.
Yeah.
When you're in a suit and a tie and you're sitting behind a desk, it's another thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the transition was decently easy, I think. Yeah.
Do you think that the reverse is also true? The amount of time that you spend as a broadcaster for WWE, will that now improve your in-ring work or your promo work?
Yeah, I think, and I'm learning this in acting as well, as anytime you're in front of a camera, in front of people with a mic in your hand, or performing, or memorizing, or doing anything like that, it's invaluable, and you get better. And then when you get away from it, the opposite happens. You kind of get worse at it, and it's like anything else. It's just reps. I saw Dolph Ziggler on your. You interviewed him on
you watched my show?
Yeah, I love it. It's great. Yeah, you do a lot for the
Thank
wrestling
you.
business, man. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for saying that. Wow.
Yeah, but he says, and it's true to who he is. He said that it's reps. He goes, I'm doing comedy now, and I don't care what you think of me now. I think he's damn funny, but whatever he says, people have their opinions. But after I get my reps in, get out of my way. I'm going to take over, and that's really cool. And he's absolutely correct when he says that. It's all reps.
It's very much the 10,000 hours rule.
Yeah,
the Malcolm
100%.
Gladwell 10,000 hours.
100%.
And as soon, being in WWE for 10 years, you had way more than 10,000 hours.
I had a lot of hours. Yeah, I had a lot of hours on the road. It was a great time though. They went fast. They flew by.
Do you think you were paired up with The Miz because you guys look alike?
So I don't look like him at all. At all.
Okay.
Yeah, this happened to me in college. It was the most frustrating thing. I was walking, around campus, and somebody started chasing me down campus and said, "There's The Miz." And I was like 19 years old. I was like, "Who?"
Oh, and when he was the reality show guy.
Yeah, the reality show, when he was the reality show guy. Yeah, and I said, "Who is The Miz?" And he goes, "Yeah, you got to watch this reality show." "No, you're him." I said, "No, I'm not him." And he, at first, he didn't believe me. He was like, "No, you're him." And then as he brought his girlfriend over, and she goes, "No, that's him." And I was like, "Okay, so I got to figure out who this guy is, right?" So I turned on the TV and I go, "No, God, no," right? And then lo and behold, I make a career.
That's how ironic.
Yeah,
is
it's
it?
amazing. It's amazing. Let's just say this. I guess WWE knows what they're doing. If I'm 19 walking around and they're pairing me with The Miz, 10 years later. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
When they first did pair you with The Miz, how did they present that to you?
Oh my God! It was John Laurinaitis called me, and he said I was in Tampa, and he said they told us that at the camp at the FCW that they were starting a show called NXT Season 1, and then NXT Season 2 was coming around, and that I was going to be on it, and then a month went by, and the developmental process, they started writing it, and John Laurinaitis, I get a phone call from him, and he calls me and he goes, "Get ready, you're with The Miz. He's going to be your pro." And I was like, "This is," because he's massively successful.
Yeah.
And good on the mic and charismatic and all that. So I couldn't have been more fortunate, man. It was great. I was very excited, and I thanked John profusely, and I got down to FCW and kept working. Adjusted my promos a little bit and went for it.
I'll never forget when The Miz won his first title.
Yeah.
You were ringside.
I was ecstatic.
Oh my God. You might have been more excited than Mike.
Yeah, and I got a decent vertical, right? And I was on the side, so you can literally see me flying up and down. Yeah, no, I was pumped, man. And that's the thing, WWE creating magic, right? Mm. And there's so much that goes into that title, and the way it's treated, the way it's presented, the history behind it. And when Mike won that night, it was incredible.
What was the lead time? How long did you guys know before he actually went in the ring and cashed?
So I didn't really know much at that point when it came. I was kind of one of the last guys to know, or he would know before I would.
Okay.
Type of thing. So it was kind of his job to come tell me in the beginning, and then I kind of would sneak my way in there and hear myself, because I love taking direction and stuff like that. So,
so did he come up to you? Maybe it was that day and said, "I'm cashing in tonight. I'm going to win."
I think it happened about for me 2 or 3 minutes before.
What?
Yeah, no, I didn't know all day. That's what I mean. I'm sure that's what I mean. They kind of kept us separate in the beginning. And I think Michael Hayes came up to me and he said, "Miz is winning the title. Get out there." You go, because they want it's real. You want the spontaneity. You want the emotion. And I had it. I was whoa, okay, let's do this. So it worked.
I remember interviewing Mike 7 years ago, maybe 6-7 years ago, and I asked him about that, and I said, "It's your first championship. How do you celebrate?" He goes, "Well, we left there, and nothing's open."
Right.
So you guys went to Denny's, I think.
Yeah, we did. And that kind of is how we celebrate everything in the WWE.
It's the only place that's open.
Is go to Denny's or IHOP.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or maybe Waffle House if you're lucky.
Yeah, exactly. Waffle House. Those are kind of the places. And boy, at that point, you're lucky to be there. You feel good because you're tired and you want to sit and eat some pancakes. So,
but with that said, you remained ripped your entire career.
I did. Yeah.
You don't do that by eating at Denny's all the time.
Well, the cardio that you're in. thin is ridiculous. I mean, you're on the road 5 days a week. You're in the ring. You're in the ring for 10 minutes, 15 minutes a night, and then the travel. So yeah, and I was always like really thin. You know what I mean? So it came off me pretty quick.
So you had skinny guy abs when you were young.
Yeah. Very much. I was 6'4", 195 pounds, and people would give me a hard time for this, like, you're so big. But I spent my whole life eating, and I was 195 pounds in high school at 6'4". Or that was my senior year. I guess I was 160 pounds my freshman year. So, yeah, I mean, it was
at 6'4".
Yeah. Ooh. So, and I'm out there trying to compete with grown men at the time.
You were the quarterback?
Huh? Yeah, I was the quarterback.
That's like a quarterback.
When I was a senior. Yeah, it took me a while to kind of like gain the mass, but when I did, I was proud of it.
So the varsity villain, that's not too far off of who you actually were then.
No, yeah, it was it was a good character for me. Dusty was great. He was kind of the one that really looked after me in FCW and helped me create it. And
oh wow.
Yeah, no, I always said like the varsity villain is a Dusty Rhodes creation for sure, and Alex Riley will always be a Dusty Rhodes creation. I'm very grateful to him for his time, that he spent with me down there. So, yeah, it was a situation where everybody had to bring a ring jacket to practice, and I brought my Letterman jacket, and they go, keep it. That's it. And I said, all right.
Oh,
yeah.
I've heard so many people talk about how brilliant Dusty is when it comes to creating characters.
Yeah.
How does the process begin?
So he just says, go.
Huh.
He just says, go talk. It's one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had in my life. And
wow.
watching people develop through it, because it's not one of those, he takes the nerves and he rips them off you, He goes, just talk to me about yourself. And somebody goes up there and they kind of get through it and it's okay. And then the next week he goes, go talk to me about yourself. And then after a while, you see colors and lights coming off, whoever it is, the wrestler, and you see them grow and develop into a character. It's cool.
That sounds like magic.
It is. It's amazing. It was an amazing experience for me for sure. One that I will always cherish. Watching people go up there and cut promos is very cool.
What's the one match in your career that if someone's going to watch your stuff for the very first time that you're super proud of?
I liked the Tornado tag match that I had with Jack Swagger, Rey Mysterio, and Mike. It was in Las Vegas, and I did it with one contact lens in. Yeah, and I have this horrible eye condition called keratoconus, which is I can't wear like glasses. Like this is legit. I'm not making this up at all. Like I can't wear glasses, so I can only wear contacts. So when I'm walking, like at night, when I take my contacts out, like that's it. That's it. I'm done. I'm blind. I have to go to bed instantly, right? Like instantly. It's hell. It's torture. I mean, I know you're laughing at it, but it's not.
Your storytelling is great.
It's not fun.
Has this always your whole life?
I developed it when I was 27.
Okay.
They give you these. I'm wearing 4 contacts right now. I swear to God, I'm wearing 2 soft contacts and 2 hard contacts. And I have a doctor down the street called Dr. Boxer Wackler, who's like the world specialist in keratoconus. And they also, I don't know anybody out there who has keratoconus.
I'm sure there are.
It's very rare, but it's there's no surgery for it. They can only like do this one thing where they shine horribly bright lights in your eyes and poke needle holes in your cornea, and then they I'm not making this up. And then they squeeze a gel over it, and the light is supposed to harden your cornea and make it thicker because mine are too thin. That's the problem. So I can't get LASIK. So people with LASIK.
I had LASIK.
Yeah, so your cornea is thin, so they're able to cut into your cornea and make a scar. Yeah. So the light can refract off your scar.
Right.
I can't have that, so I have like these mountaintops and ranges and all that. So I can't believe I'm getting into this. So I have 2 soft contacts that even my cornea out to a flat surface, and then I have 2 hard contacts, so I'm constantly walking around with 4 contacts. Back to the point. I lost 2 of them. I lost the right eye.
And you didn't have extras with you.
I did not have extras. I think I had already gone through my extras because you're on the road a lot.
Yeah.
2, if I don't remember right where that case is, man, like I'm effed. Because it's, you got to take them off, because I can't put glasses on, regardless.
It's like next to your bed.
Got to be next to my bed. It's right up there all the time, and I literally can memorize and feel it. But regardless, going back to the point,
to the match,
not making this too medically boring.
No, I think people find this interesting.
Yeah, no, it's what I was dealt, and I do the best I can with it. It's certainly not something that's going to change your life in a way that's like horribly dramatic, but it's something that you got to deal with, especially when you lose your contacts on the road. It was the best match I had in my whole career.
Wow.
With one friggin'.
Would it have been?
I consider it, yeah.
Would it have been even better had you not lost your
No,
contacts?
I don't think so. I think whatever was happening that night I think it was one of those things where when you had to turn your mind off, right? Where I can't believe this is happening to me. This is an impossible situation. I can't see anybody. But I'm going to just do the best I can.
Yeah.
And it adds to the aggressiveness a little bit. I had to kick a little harder, and and so you look great tonight. So yeah, it worked. Yeah. So actually, Evan Bourne after that match, and I don't know if he was a fan of mine or not or whatever, but I remember he came up to me and he pulled me aside and goes, "That's the best match I've ever seen you have." So yeah, and he's a hell of a worker.
He is.
Yeah. So
I bet you'll have a match with him on the Indies.
Yeah, I would look forward to that. That would be cool.
He works Indies all the time.
I think he was the first person I worked, either him or MVP. I think MVP was first, but Evan Bourne was second when I came up on the road. He was great, man. He was a really cool guy.
So you had the moment with Mike where he won the championship.
Yeah.
He was also in the main event of WrestleMania. Since you were there with him, ringside for those moments, are those also your moments?
So I've always said no, right? And this is one of the things that drove me crazy, is people say, you were in the main event of WrestleMania. And I'm grateful for that. Mm-hmm. Well, absolutely. Like, my God. But I was, on the side. I'm not going to sit here and say to anybody that I was, The Rock and John Cena or Miz and John Cena. I didn't earn that. I didn't earn that spot. Was that my moment? No, absolutely not. That was Miz's moment. And anybody that says no, that was my moment, they're trying to trick me.
I guess though, because you were a wrestler and still wrestled in matches. If
it was
for a valet, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a hard thing.
For a manager,
it's a hard thing to describe. Was I out there and did I feel everything, and was I proud of the place that I had gotten in my point in my career? Absolutely. But was I in there carrying a 45-minute match, selling tickets? No. I'm smart enough to realize that.
Sure.
I filled my role the best I could, always. I always really did try to do exactly what I was told.
Well, then all that built up to that great feud.
Yeah,
with Miz.
That was great, and I was ecstatic that happened. It was a great moment in my life. I'll always remember it, and it kind of got me going in a little bit of a career, and separated me from Mike, and gave me an opportunity to get out on my own and do my thing, and I really appreciated that, to go out there and be a big fiery babyface with great music and
great music.
Yeah, great music.
Say it to my face.
It was good. I had all the guys coming up. It's really good, So it was a great experience, and Mike's the best. He's always been the best. When we were going through that whole thing, I don't know if it's hard because he's gonna lose to his old rookie, but he's a pro. He was a professional the whole time, and it all worked out really well.
I feel like, and I don't know The Miz as well as you do, but I feel like from an outsider looking in, he's always been really good at doing what's best for the show.
Yeah.
Or what's best for the brand.
Yeah, absolutely. He's and that's what you do. If you want to last in the WWE, you do that. And he always did it. And look where he is now. I mean, he's all over the place. He's just hosting his own show.
Is he back here? Is he back in LA?
No, I believe he's in Austin.
Is he? I think he is.
I should call him up. I should call him up.
Because he was in Austin.
Yeah.
Then I think he moved back here.
Did he sell his house in Austin?
I think so.
Yeah, I should give him a call. And
Yeah.
see how
Oh
he's
my
doing. Yeah.
God, you guys could
A little
reunite.
reunion. Yeah, that would be nice.
If you took a picture, people wouldn't know who's who because you look identical.
Okay, stop that. Yeah, no, that's and the horrible part about it is he swears he doesn't look like me either. I think we both hate it. I go, no way, and he goes, yeah, no way. Like, you're ugly, I'm ugly, and maybe that's why it worked. I'm better looking, you're better looking, and who the hell knows and who the hell cares? I mean, you have the title, so and I'm taller.
Who is it that you still keep in touch with from your time in WWE?
I still talk to Zach, Dolph, Mason Ryan, Joe Hennig, Heath Slater. Those guys are good buddies of mine, and but the pack it thins when you're let go from WWE, and you got to kind of find a different direction and stuff like that. But those guys will always be my brothers. They're I shared the ring with them, and you go to war with those guys, and it's a bond that can't be recreated.
Yeah, like a brotherhood.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. It's an incredible connection that you make when you're on NXT season 2, and you look to Percy Watson. I talked to Percy Watson the other day, and you looked at him, and you say, "What are we doing?" And he says, "I don't know. They didn't tell me either." And that's the fun of it. And so then you go up there and you talk some smack about your buddies in a very. I remember the first time I was on NXT season 2. Loki Caval.
Yeah.
He goes. We're closing the show, and I think there's about 3 minutes left or a minute and a half, and he just grabs a microphone out of Layla's hand, I think, and walks to the front of the ring, into the hard cam, and just starts trying to, talk and do his thing. And Miz jams the mic into my chest, and he goes, "Go cut him up." And I was like, "Wow, okay, yeah." So it's
wow,
and I think I turned his shoulder and I called him a nerd, and whatever. That was always the best for me, is when it was kind of like. It was improvisational. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot, and to see how quick you could think and all that stuff.
After 10 years, how was it that they broke the news to you that they were going to be releasing you?
Mark Carrano called me, actually. I was driving down to the Performance Center in Orlando, and I had just signed a deal. It was a 3-year deal. And it was a year in, they decided to go a different direction, and that's all good. It's their company, and they're allowed to do that. But it was heartbreaking, and he called me and he just said, "Look, we're going to go a different direction." And a year ago it was, "Oh, Vince really likes me and wants to bring me back," and then a year later, but that's entertainment for you, and they're at the top of entertainment.
Yeah.
So they're allowed to do whatever they want, and if they don't want Alex Riley there at the time, then he's not there.
But if you just signed a 3-year deal, you probably thought, like, I'm good for the next 3 years.
I did, yeah, I really did. I thought I think I went out and I invested in a property, and that I had to get rid of, or really do some restructuring. But so yeah, it was tough, and more than that, it was it was 10 years of my life.
Yeah.
And coming into it, really, really green.
Yeah.
And trying to pick it up, and join in with a group of guys that weren't really so green. So yeah, it was heartbreaking, but that's life. You know what I mean? And they built me up to a point where I could go out and get a rolling glow. So and that was a great experience for me, and get some other things going in Hollywood. And I was like I said, I was a skinny kid in high school, 140 pounds, and
look at you now.
Yeah, and now I'm still kind of skinny, and but no, and very shy and very introverted, and got an opportunity to come out and join an incredible entertainment organization, and now be out in Hollywood. So I have nothing to complain about.
No, life's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
The rumors were out there for a long time, and then Ryback addressed this, that John Cena had some sort of effect on your career. What exactly happened there?
Yeah, so it's hard to, it's hard to really put a label on it, and I don't, did he have some of the things that, I think it came down to really at the end, like two men just not liking each other.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think that as sad as that is, it had an impact on my career because he is who he is, you know? I mean, and I don't think that goes without saying in other businesses, you know? This one it just happened. I just happened to be in a situation, I think, where right from the start, it was just, he didn't like me. I just don't think he had I just don't think he did. And I tried to change that. You know what I mean? I tried to change that the best I could. I worked very hard and, tried to do the best I could to grow and learn, and fit in the way that, a wrestler fits in, and he wanted me to fit in, and it just kind of got to the point a little bit with, even some of the other guys would kind of be like, what's up with that? And I'm like, I don't know, I don't know. So it was a tough situation.
It was known that he didn't like you.
I would hear that from others, but it was not. I would hear that from other wrestlers from time to time, and it certainly didn't seem that way when we would interact. But it's tough. It's a tough thing. It's wrestling, you know what I mean, and it's something where you do the best you can to learn in a way that that is productive and that will get you better. And I try to do that the best I could. I really did. I tried to do the best I could, and it just didn't work out.
Are there any hard feelings there?
No, I mean, no, not for me. There was one either mistake, that I made or he made, or there's where we got really crossed and we kind of got into a little bit of an argument, and I didn't think it was going to. I went to him immediately the next day and apologize and for whatever had happened. And I think he was he was pretty offended. But again, I think it was two grown men that just didn't see eye to eye at the time. But yeah, I think so. I'm not, holding any grudges or anything like that.
I'm sure he doesn't either.
Yeah. No, it's not something, it's not something that I certainly don't want it hanging over my neck, for the rest of my life.
Yeah, no.
So yeah. And there's a thousand, I think, stories like this.
Well, there's, of course, and we talked about Miz before, but there's the story of Miz eating chicken in the locker room and that causing him to get, cast out of the locker room. That's a thing that happened, right?
Yeah, no, that was, I wasn't there at the time, but I heard. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you're right. There are 1,000 stories like this in wrestling.
Right.
That just happen to exist.
Yeah.
And when you work in a company with hundreds of other people,
right,
not everybody's going to get along.
Yeah, and I, and towards the end of it, it was, I think we had patched it up and, figured everything out. But I say this. It was a tough situation while I was there. But I respect John. I respect his work ethic, everything that he's done. And, I certainly, didn't expect to be on the wrong side of it. So, but yeah, it was, is what it is.
Well, with that and everything else that happened in your career in WWE, what do you now want to approach the indies with, or getting back into wrestling?
Yeah, revamped version of myself. I'm trying to be going to go be the varsity villain, see what happens. Throw the Letterman jacket on and grab the mic and put some matches together. I miss it. I really do. I really miss it. Should have been in there a while ago. But now I'm getting an opportunity to go back.
You got to start making some T-shirts.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
Pro wrestling tees.
Absolutely, yeah. Now I'm excited about the opportunity to kind of you run your own business and you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool, and yeah, I can't wait to get at it because. You know, in the WWE, there's a structure where, you know, they make your shirts and they do all that stuff if you're lucky enough to get a shirt. And then there's this structure where you can kind of control the whole thing yourself. So that's going to be.
Do you have
really
some
cool.
T-shirt ideas? Because people are listening right now.
Yeah, no, I like the VV on the, you know, on the back of the shirt where I used to have the Letterman thing could go here.
That's good.
So yeah, and then maybe, you know, I don't know how many fans are out there still. I mean, it was a while ago, but you know,
lots.
Steel Horse, yeah, no, Steel Horse would be a good, would be a good thing. So yeah, no, I got some ideas and we're gonna get it up and running and just get back out there.
If I can have a ProWrestlingTees.com store, surely you can have
absolutely 100%.
Yeah. Also, if you want to buy a collar and elbow shirt like this one, the code is CVV10.
Why aren't you in the ring, by the way?
Why am I not in the ring?
Yeah.
I'm in the ring as like a ring announcer.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
Why aren't you with? Why don't you have knee pads and boots on?
I trained to be a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
And to make a long story short, I was 20 years old. I was going to college at the time. So that summer, I went and started training in Toronto, the Squared Circle. Yeah. Rob Fuego was the head trainer there. He spent some time in WWE as El Fuego. Angelina Love was at the school when I was there. It was great. I learned how to bump. I learned all the basics. Yeah. But then when it came time to go back to school, I realized you can't do both. Like wrestling is a school in itself. Like you can't do both. Yeah. If wrestling's going to be your thing, it needs to be your only thing. Yeah. And at the time I was studying communication studies, which I had a massive passion for broadcasting and realized I couldn't do both. Yeah. I knew that wrestling would always be there. Yeah. So I kind of put the wrestling on hold, got my degree, and the communications degree led to me working in broadcasting and still being able to do some stuff with wrestling as a ring announcer, now as an interviewer. Right. Did a little bit of work with AEW. It's been great.
Awesome. Yeah, no, you're fantastic at your job, and I don't know a wrestler out there that doesn't appreciate your work. I think.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, wow. You do a lot for the business, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And thank you for agreeing to do this.
100%. Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, why not?
Well, I think you say, are there still any fans out there? Yes, of course. They're all listening and watching this right now.
Yeah, I try to be very,
okay, you're being humble.
Realistically humble. Yeah.
And they're all going to come out and see you when you go to their respective towns.
100%.
But, the indies can't be the end goal. So what's the plan? What would you like to do?
So I'm just going to focus on my in-ring work and, my promos and my character development and getting back out there and having a match, because it's been a while. But that's the start and the finish of it right now. If I talked to a couple of people, they're like, "Hey, man, you're starting from scratch, man." So
you kind of because you had like the NXT as it stands now, like the Performance Center training before that existed. Like you came up without ever having to work the indies.
Yes, I did.
You went right into it.
Yeah, and that blessing and a curse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean Ziggler's in the same boat.
Yeah, and it was just one of those things where it was a quick learning curve, you're never done learning in wrestling. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. So. I'm excited at the challenge. Back to the indies to start it all over.
You're going to get backstage at an independent show, and all the wrestlers are going to have so many questions for you.
Yeah.
Because you've been where they want to go.
I'll be ready to answer them the best I can. Yeah.
I can't wait to see you in the ring.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's going to be amazing, and I also can't wait to see what other film and TV work you do.
Yeah, no, I'm out here. I'm grinding every day and keeping myself busy and still hitting auditions and. They work together. So
they do.
Yeah. So,
Do you ever walk into an audition and someone's like, my kid loves you? Like, they recognize you from wrestling?
From time to time. It happens less and less these days. But yeah, no, absolutely. And I remember the first time I got recognized in a mall, what a feeling it was, so cool, like so amazing. But you got to earn it though. You have to earn that. You have to earn people, seeing you and recognizing you. You got to stay current and topical. And the ones that have earned it, I'm sure it's happening to them right now.
Well, with the circle of friends that you talked about, that are both out here and then just people that you still keep in touch with. You're in the right circle. Also, Damian Sandow, who
Yeah, great
I believe
guy.
got released at the same time as you.
Yeah.
He's out here.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with him very similar to this, like in April of last year, February last
Right.
year. And he's like, "No, I'm done with wrestling."
Really?
And now look at him. He's
Yeah.
in the NWA.
Yeah,
and
no, I know.
crushing it.
And I tell you what, not a bad place to be.
Yeah.
They're great over there, and the whole '80s feel and everything. So, and yeah, him and I are good buddies, and maybe that's where it'll end up. But
The Varsity Villain would be great in NWA.
Yeah, no, it would be. And I love the desk, and they're able to do the promos, and Eli Drake, man, whew, he's fire. So yeah, just being able, you gotta work too with talented people. Other talented people will make you better, and all that. So
If you grew up watching wrestling, who was it that you really looked up to?
oh man, I was a Shawn Michaels guy. I like Shawn Michaels. I like
everyone says
yeah,
Shawn
no,
Michaels.
I know I get the heat all over the place for this, but yeah.
No, I'm saying he's great.
No, but I was gonna say The Rock. Like people, the first time I said to Dr. Tom, he goes, well, "Who do you like?" I said, The Rock, and he goes, "Well, everybody likes The Rock." No, I'm a fan of it all. I liked Hunter. I like The Undertaker. All those guys. It's Bret Hart. So I've been a fan, and I want to continue to be a fan. And there's a lot of wrestling now. A lot. Cody at AEW, and Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, all those guys. They're doing a great job. And wow, what a time to be. What a time to be a wrestling fan and a
And a wrestler.
Yeah.
This is the best possible time for all of this.
Yeah, and they should be really credited over there for all their work that they did, and I know I was telling you, it's like if Jerry Seinfeld and George and those guys were carrying around a handheld, and NBC went to them and said, "Hey, we're going to put you on TV." Like that's what they did. They changed the way business is structured in television.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Kudos to them, man. Massive accomplishment and massively talented people.
Well, and there's no reason that you can't be in the mix with any of these organizations that you mentioned.
Yeah, no, I would, I would consider that a huge honor, to be honest. I got some work to do. I'm going to get out there and do it.
You don't have a lot of work to do. You just got to get a little bit of the ring rust off.
Yeah.
But
pick up a few tricks.
Yeah. Oh, a few tricks.
Yeah, pick up a few tricks. Be a little different.
Just get in there with PJ Black. He'll teach you.
I know it. I keep telling him, I'm like, can you teach? We'll do swantons and
oh my God.
And then you get you're too tall, you're too big for that. But I always had a thing.
No, there was. Remember Sean O'Hare did the Shanton bomb?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There you go.
No. I'll come up with some cool stuff.
Well, I'm excited for what 2020 holds for you.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you inviting me to your house.
Yeah, no.
Right in the heart of Hollywood here.
It is. It's a good spot. It's a good spot.
I feel like we need to do something like really Hollywood-like after we leave here.
What's that?
I don't know. What would be a really Hollywood thing?
I don't know.
Actually, I did Runyon Canyon this morning.
Did you?
That's pretty Hollywood.
That is Hollywood.
Yeah.
Chicken wings are Hollywood.
Chicken wings. That's my favorite food, by the way.
There you go.
It's only January.
Right.
So that's why I'm so excited for what the future holds for you.
Yeah. No, it's early in 2020. Fresh start, clean start, and an opportunity to really go for it here.
Yeah.
I'm in a good spot.
You are.
Yeah, I'm happy where I am. I'm not happy where I am. I want to get better, but I'm very fortunate.
Well, like you said, you're hungry for more, and anybody in the entertainment industry is. I'm hungry for more.
Yeah.
And I think if you're not hungry for more, which you certainly are, there's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I meant to say though, like I've been I'm fortunate. I'm a fortunate person, and I just want to, I want to work hard and add to that and get back out there and see what happens. The greatest part about wrestling is, it's crowd and you're judged every minute, you know, and that's cool, and we'll see.
Well, where can people find you?
Kiley Jr. WWE, Twitter and Instagram. So,
Okay, great. Well, we'll link that up here so people can find you and. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate it very much. Yeah,
thank you.
Chris Van Vliet coming to you from my office as of late. I guess it's either here or hotel rooms. Thank you so much for watching this interview and watching all the way until the end and for subscribing. You're so awesome. for subscribing. Also, big thank you to Alex Riley / Kevin Kiley for finding the time to do this interview. We had one planned before. You might remember this. We had one planned a few months ago, and at the last second, it fell through. So I said, hey, I'm going to be in Los Angeles. You live in Los Angeles. Let's make this thing happen. And we did. Also, I'm going to be moving to Los Angeles in the next 2 months or so. So if you live in Los Angeles, guess what? We just became best friends. I'm super excited to see Alex Riley back in the ring in 2020. He has a great look. He has great size. He has great in-ring ability. And of course, he has great entrance music, although I don't know if he'll be able to use that on the indies. But I'm super grateful for him being so open here and sitting down and basically talking about everything in his career. This is the start of a great year for both me, for Alex Riley, and for you as well. And you know that I always say vague goals get vague results. So specific goals get specific results. I also think it's important to put your goals out there. So one, other people are aware of them, and two, it holds you accountable. If you just make up the goal yourself and then you don't follow through on it, well, nobody knows and nobody's holding you accountable. So my goal for 2020 is 100,000 Instagram followers. So if everyone that watched this video followed me on Instagram, well, we would have this completed in like a few days. So I will link that up below. I'm also going to be giving away some great stuff on my Instagram page this year, including some championship belts. So if you want to win, you'll just have to check me out on Instagram. I'm at 66,000 right now, so I think we can do this. Actually, I know we can do this, especially with your help here. So 100,000 Instagram followers by the end of the year. You in? You in? Let's do this. I'm in Atlanta right now. I always laugh when people are like, you drive to do interviews? I'm like, yeah, because they don't just show up on my doorstep. Although I do have one that's coming to my house in the next few weeks, which is blowing my mind that that's happening. But yeah, I'm willing to drive. And it was an 8+ hour drive to Atlanta to make these interviews happen with some NWA stars, which I'm super pumped about. So yes, opportunities are out there, people. And what you have to do is you have to go after them and chase after them and make them happen, because they are not going to fall in your lap. If it takes driving 467 miles to Atlanta, Georgia to make interviews happen, damn right I'm going to make those interviews happen.